Welcome along to another episode of Horsing Around with Horsepower. My name is Jishnu, and boy, do we have a great episode for you guys today. We're gonna try and get through all of the race weekend stuff and more. But joining me today is the rest of my crew: Hanil, Max, Abhishek, and Ritvik. Hi, guys.
Hi boys.
Hello.
Hello.
What up? What up?
All right, now we're actually gonna start with the segment that I've personally been looking forward to a lot because we've got a special guest joining us this week. Let me just tell you quickly a bit about him. His name is Rio. He runs a Formula One based Instagram page and a website and a gaming page and a couple of other things as well. Rio, hi, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm feeling very good today. Thank you very much. I feel very great to joining today.
We feel great as well. I mean, you got 34,000 followers, so hopefully some of your followers, will reach out and listen to us. And
Hopefully. I mean, I've been promoting this podcast, so hopefully some of them may join in and listen when we publish this out.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, okay, big shout out to Rio because, as he said, for some of our listeners who may not be following him, he's been our biggest supporter from day one.
Yeah.
The match, match
Appreciate
talks with
it.
him.
And actually, before day one, because I actually approached Rio with this idea of starting a podcast and had his fans do a poll on Instagram and got his opinion. So yeah, that's very nice of you, Rio. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. Anyway, let me just quickly fill in on the poll, right? The poll, I remember the result was only 53 to 47.
Yeah.
So then I felt a bit skeptical because the amount of unsupportive people at 47%, it kind of worried me that not many people would be interested. I mean, I felt like that the general public wouldn't listen to podcasts, especially say you give half an hour podcast to talk about one subject, and then people they would somehow just doze off midway.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But it led to this creation of this amazing podcast that we now have.
Yeah, somehow.
So it's all good.
Yeah.
So like Hanno said, Rio has an Instagram page with over 32,000 followers, and he posts a lot of stuff besides just Formula One content. There's a lot of good, hilarious memes, some content from other racing series like Formula 2 and Extreme E even. So it's all great stuff. Rio, why didn't you tell us how you got into F1 in the first place? And what sort of motivated you to create this Instagram page?
Yeah, so firstly, how I got into F1 was that just go back time to 2010 Singapore Grand Prix. You had this amazing battle for the race win between Fernando Alonso, who was back then was with Ferrari, and Sebastian Vettel, who was at Red Bull that time. And so what made me feel that this sport was just so interesting. It was so tight battles, and then I kind of started to get really caught on after Abu Dhabi when Sebastian won his first championship, youngest ever world champion at that time as well.
Yep.
And then so now it's been coming up to 11 years already, and then I still been a loyal Sebastian Vettel fan. And as for my meme page, how I got started was that I actually got inspired by another account, which is now I believe a defunct account, which is called GP Humor. And so then on, at that time I actually didn't really have any aspirations for my page. I just okay, let's just go with the flow, play around with the memes, and then little do I know I'll be just growing and growing until 32,000 plus today.
Well done.
Impressive.
Thanks.
And how did you come up with the name GP_N_memes?
Interesting. Actually, this wasn't my original name. Earlier,
okay.
I actually had another name called Jokes for GP, like the number 4. But then I felt like that didn't work out because the name didn't really attract enough followers. So then I thought I change it around a bit. So I add a bit more of the Grand Prix part of it, and then GPN memes. So it's a combination of the racing plus the memery together as one.
I see. Well, what do you think about our name Horsing Around with Horsepower?
It's quite an interesting name. I mean, I wouldn't have expected anyone to name it with this, but then the word horsepower is really something motorsport related, and I felt very creative actually.
Thank you.
Yeah,
The
well,
creator was mostly Jishnu, Very
No,
smart with the words.
I think it was Max's
I mean-
idea actually.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Max's idea.
It's all good.
Yeah. Basically, as you can see, we're very witty people over here.
Yeah.
Always good with words. And you should see the jokes they make on our Instagram page. So, Horsing Around with Horsepower. You guys should check it out.
Yeah. We're plugging our own Instagram page on our podcast.
That's good.
Yeah.
By the way, we're actually gonna put in the links for Rio's Instagram page, his gaming page, and his website and stuff like that in our comments and descriptions wherever you're listening. So do check out those after you're done with our podcast. And yeah, I actually want to talk to you about your gaming page as well. What sort of
Okay,
games
sure.
are you really into, and what do you play?
Yeah, for now I'm more towards Assetto Corsa because my friend introduced me to that, and then like you could download so many mods, so many different tracks, so many different cars, and you can just go creative. For example, you can have Formula One car racing down at Le Mans on the Musan Straight, or you can have say you can bring in a kart to drive at Suzuka, which all these doesn't make sense, or probably bring a rally car to a F1 circuit. Sometimes these things just don't make sense, but at the end day it's for fun. And other games that I also play is of course the Codemasters F1 series games, which
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoy. And recently, because I moved on to my gaming laptop, I will have be able to like install some mods, so I could technically play F1 2021 without actually buying the 2021 game.
I don't know if you're going to be saying that on our podcast, but
Oh,
okay,
maybe no one.
Hopefully
Hopefully, the
everyone
Codemasters
is
people
listening
don't
to
hear it.
us.
Anyways, I mean, so many people. I mean, even the F1 YouTubers have done it already, so I guess they wouldn't mind already.
True. I mean, I saw Lando Norris did it.
Yeah, quite a
Could be.
few of the gamers on YouTube.
Yeah, Tiamat Mother, Araba, Noble, sorry, Tom97. These are the few of the F1 YouTubers I watch.
As some exclusive content for you guys right there. Now I have to ask you this question, which is something that I actually ask every single F1 fan that I come across, which is if you could drive any F1 car of your choice on any F1 track for one lap, which car and which track would it be?
Oh, this is a good question. For me, the track, it'd be hands down Suzuka. I mean,
Ooh,
Sector
good
1,
choice.
you had
Good
the
choice, good
S's
choice.
and Dunlops, high speed
Yes.
corners, and then coming down to Sector 3, 130R, another
That's
high speed
right.
corner. It's very fun as well. In
Yep.
fact, I actually drove the short circuit in real life back in 2019. Yeah,
What?
actually, it was a small little kart, 30 kilometers an hour, but then, and at least you can get the racing line correct lah.
Wait, so
And-
you actually went there to drive
I
a
went to
car?
Suzuka, but it
Oh
was
my
for the
God.
experience lah. But at the same time, the Super Formula Winter Test was happening
Oh,
coincidentally. So, I mean, you can say 2 in 1
That's
in
really-
a day. It's quite fun.
That was
Well, that's
insane.
really,
And as
really
for
cool.
and as for the car, I think the 2013 Red Bull RB9, the last of the V8s, and championship winning car as well.
Very good choice.
That's a good choice. Lastly, Rio, I was actually most excited to talk to you about this, which is you had a chance to actually meet some of the current grade of Formula One drivers and team personnel. Could you maybe share with us how those interactions went? Who do you meet and how did it all go?
Yeah, for this I think I'll split into 2 years. First year is 2018. It was before the race, before the race on race day, and because most if not all of the F1 personnel they stayed at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, which is just across, which is within the circuit compound. And so I was just standing there waiting outside the hotel, and I met two people. First came Alex Young, former Formula One driver for Minardi, who raced alongside Mark Webber back in 2001. He's now currently a pundit at Fox Sports Asia. And so what I just gave him a hi, a wave, and then I managed to get him to sign my copy of F1 2018. And after that, I met former Williams team principal Claire Williams, and she was a very nice person, very gentle. So, and I also asked her for signature, and yeah, she kindly obliged to sign on my F1 2018 game as well.
yeah, it's
and-
one of the most valuable games I've heard out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, maybe. And I still keep it. It's hanging on. It's pasted on my wall in my bedroom.
Wow,
Nice.
nice.
And going to 2019, what I did right is after FP2 ended, I went and rather camped outside the paddock, just to wait for the drivers to come out. And the first person I met, I think it was, Sir Jackie Stewart,
Oh,
3-time world champion back in the 60s and 70s. And basically I just gave him a little handshake, but I think he was a bit busy, so then because he was kind of rushing, so I just gave him a handshake and off he went. And after that came Dr. Helmut Marko. You know who he is. And so what happened was that he only shook a few person's hands and then just decided to run off without caring for other fans. And then I got another friend with me that day, and we both were a bit unhappy, you could say. And then after that, we had a former Renault test driver, Sergei Sorokin, former Williams driver as well, and he was kind enough to like stop for autographs and take selfies, and I managed to get a selfie with him. And then after that, AlphaTauri team principal Franz Toast. Same thing, also another selfie and another signature. And before I finish everything, I want to go back to earlier in the day before FP1. I was at a media event, McLaren media event, where I met Lando Norris himself.
So jealous, man. I am jealous.
Yeah. So
Our
and
resident
overall,
McLaren fans are very jealous of you right now.
Yes, for sure.
I mean, if I can, I later can show you the photo just to confirm. You might think I'm lying
No, we
here.
trust you. No, we trust you.
Yeah, okay.
I think
Anyway,
if
and
anyone
what
else
else?
wants to...
I remember 2018, I went for the Thursday pit lane walk, and guess who ran past me?
Lewis
Ricardo.
Wrong.
Vettel.
Verstappen was running past me. He's running with his team. He's running his like engineers and whatnot. He couldn't stop for photos, so he just ran past me and off he went.
Did you run after him? Like paparazzi?
No, I mean I wouldn't be fit enough to run after him.
Yeah, who knows?
I doubt any of us
Well-
are really.
None of us are.
So I'm pretty sure
You know what? Hearing
you have met like more F1 drivers and F1 stars than I will ever have in my entire life, probably.
Yeah, man.
oh, Max getting sad. Huh?
Yeah. It's alright, it's alright.
Anyway, actually, hearing about all these stories of like your interactions, I know we're actually going to talk about this later, but I think we should maybe bring it forward and talk about it, because the Singapore Grand Prix has been cancelled for 2021, sadly
Gutted.
for the second year in a row. And it's worth noting that it's actually the last year in the contract for the current series of races in Formula One. We don't know if they're going to extend it in the next few years. There's news that not really news, but like people commenting that maybe not, because in line with like the COVID restrictions, the diminishing income from the races, and like Singapore's general push for like sustainability, it doesn't really fit within the image of Singapore right now. What do you guys think? Do you think we should still carry on with the races here?
For me as a huge Formula Fan, I would really want to see the race come back again. Well, in fact, the press representative for the Singapore Grand Prix Limited, SGP Limited, he or she mentioned that actually they are looking forward to have a 2022 race, and are currently in talks with the government and Formula One management to host a 2022 race. So maybe there's half a chance that we can have the race back for 2022.
Yeah.
Which AKA we just extend the contract by one more year.
Yeah.
I think going on with the fact, I would really love to see, even if just for 1 year, the new cars at Singapore is one of the slowest tracks, one of the longest tracks as well. It'll be fun to see how the new the aerodynamic rules affect the cars, and how they're gonna pull off stuff in Singapore as well, even if it's just for 1 year.
Yeah, just to add on, next year there will also be the new 18-inch rims,
Oh, yeah.
which can also
Yes.
change the tyre performance.
Those massive rims.
They look good
Yeah,
though.
adding on top of Rio, yeah. So currently right now I find that the Singapore night race is really balancing on a knife's edge. On one hand, we got supporters like us that wants the race to continue, but yet we also on the other end a group of people that doesn't want to continue the night race. I mean, in a report by Channel News Asia, it reported that out of the past 11 races so far, even though it has brought in a massive 1.4 billion in incremental tourism receipts, it works out to only an average of around 130 million a year, which is actually less than the amount that Singapore spends to host the race. So in terms of economics wise, it's not really economical and profitable for Singapore to host it, but I guess it does bring in some form of tourism receipt and it puts Singapore on the map. But yeah, we'll see how in 2022 again.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'll just add a little something. Actually, you see the F1 tickets in Singapore, they sell for let's say for the premium walkabout, it's about $400 plus. The reason why it's so expensive, right, it's not because it's trying to cover the cost of the F1 thing itself. What is also included in your ticket is actually the concert. The concert comes with the ticket.
Oh yeah.
So in a way, the concert is actually free, so you can go to like any concert you want. Especially given the fact that like a couple of stages around the Grand Prix circuit, the circuit park. You have the Esplanade stage, the Padang stage, I think that's called the turn one stage. I can't remember the name, but you have a lot of stages, a lot of stage performances, and also all those small performances.
In fact, a lot of my friends, those are like the party goers, they actually just buy the F1 tickets, not just to go for the race. It's more of the go to the concert, especially when Swedish House Mafia came to Singapore. A lot
Yeah.
of tickets were sold just because of that,
Uh,
because it was like a rare opportunity. Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, a lot of star-studded people. Yeah, I mean 2016 you had Queen coming along, and then all those classic rock anthems, Bohemian Rhapsody, We Are the Champions, all the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And in 2011, Linkin Park came to Singapore. And being a huge
that's
Linkin
the-
Park fan,
Oh
I
yeah,
missed the opportunity. Oh my god.
yeah. Adding
know,
on to
in fact-
2011, everybody at the Esplanade Theatre, Esplanade stage, right, got Rick Rolled because Rick Astley was around.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that's the greatest.
I actually
Yeah.
almost went for the 2018 F1 race because Martin Garrix was there. Because back then I wasn't an F1 fan, but I was a huge Martin Garrix fan. So I actually bought the tickets, but then I had to like sell it away because I realized that it was 5 days before my prelim exam, so I couldn't make it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh man, missed
unlucky,
opportunity.
unlucky.
Yeah, oh my god, it insane was Martin Garrix.
Yeah, speaking of races, 2017, as a Sebastian fan, wasn't the best of races. I mean, if all can remember, turn one before
Yep.
actually before
Yep.
turn one, the sandwich between Raikkonen, Vettel, and Verstappen, which caused like 4 drivers to be out at one spot.
Same.
Yeah, all three
That's
Yeah.
the same.
And I was seated at the Bay Grandstand, aka the floating platform, and the moment I saw on the big screen that thing happened, my heart just sank basically.
Oh no.
I mean, I still remember, yeah, I was at home as well, I was watching the race. The moment
Yeah.
they got off the line, right, and they sandwich each other, I'm like, oh no, it's
Yeah.
over. It's
I remember
over.
because I was at, I think it was at Iron Orchard or one of the bridges along Orchard Road where you can see the race itself. And I couldn't see the start, but I could hear like something happen. People were booing, so I was like, okay, something seems to have happened. And then when the cars started coming around, I saw that a Ferrari was missing. So okay, yeah, I think one of them is gone.
Yeah, actually Vettel, right? He coming through turn 5, 6, and 7. He actually had a missing nose cone.
Yeah,
missing
yeah,
front
the
wing
whole
as
thing
well.
was missing.
Yeah,
And also because of
Yeah.
the contact between him and Raikkonen, right? Raikkonen crashing to his side, he actually leaked a lot of coolant.
Then he drove backwards for quite a while.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
yeah.
You know what? For one, I definitely hope that we get to see more Singapore night races. I just love it for like the uniqueness that it offers to the calendar itself. You know, a nighttime street circuit is just fantastic to see. Maybe the racing could be better, but I think it's just a great spectacle to view and enjoy, really.
Yeah, you said to improve the racing, right? Maybe one day, why not we design a Singapore Grand Prix circuit of our own?
Wow,
I mean,
that'd be interesting.
I might be able to design the cars, but I cannot design the circuit to save my life. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, maybe what we can do, add a loop-de-loop or jump.
Ah, yes.
Nice.
I think a loop de loop is
That's taking it too
theoretically
far, but sure.
possible.
You don't need to Hot
It is
Wheels, but
theoretically
sure.
possible, so
But there's also conversation about which track is going to replace Singapore for this year in the calendar. Let's just do a quick go around and see what does everyone think. Which track should come on the calendar?
For me, I think we can do a Suzuka double header
Nice.
because you have to think about the logistics. Because right now we're already going to the Asian part, right? You can't say after Russia, oh let's go back to Euro and do another race down there. It just doesn't make sense, and I don't think anybody want a Russia double header, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you can do a Suzuka double header, or if not, probably go up 2 hours drive to Malaysia, Sepang.
Ooh,
Yes,
that would be
that's what I
nice
was
as
gonna
well.
say. Bring back Sepang circuit.
I mean, I don't think something is going to happen at all looking at the state of Malaysia right now.
Yeah,
They're going to
MCO.
what,
Yeah.
5 or 6 lockdowns since COVID started? It's really not good. I would say soccer because it's also a night race and it was the famous George Russell incident, so we can bring it back hopefully this time.
Ooh.
Something good will happen for Russell.
That would be
So,
nice.
yeah, it would be good.
Yeah.
Abi, Rivik, any thoughts?
Honestly, as a newbie fan, I have no idea what to replace it with. But honestly, looking at how things have gone so far in the race and looking at previous races, I think just doing a Baku race again.
Uh,
Just go for loads of it. Why not?
That's a bit a long shot, but sure.
Yeah.
Why not? One can only hope.
Retracing your steps.
Yeah, exactly.
honestly, for me personally, like I also can't really comment on the technical aspects, so really can't, say based on that like which circuit I would want. But I think I would want another night circuit as well, because I think there are very few night races that happen in comparison to the day races. So I think for me the main priority would just to have like a night race, and I don't know. Okay, yeah, I think it would be fun. I don't know which circuits, but circuits which are, I guess, more interesting, where Baku kind of action can happen, makes you like on the edge of your seat. Those kind of races. Not really like Monaco, where
Yeah.
not much. Like no overtaking at all.
Yeah.
I would overtake there.
Yeah. So that way, yeah, I think more dynamic night race. I think that would be quite interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Very
Speaking about night racing, right? He actually earlier there was some mention about Sakia / Bahrain. It's actually possible. What you can do, right, is to push back Abu Dhabi 1 week later and then just squeeze in a Sakia race down there.
Yeah.
So I felt that's quite possible.
That was what I was hoping for, because soccer. Okay, you're replacing one of the longest, if not the longest grid on the
Jeddah,
calendar
right?
with one of the shortest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Wait,
nice.
is Jeddah in this year? I thought it was next
No,
year.
Jeddah is in this year.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, actually, speaking on the topic of streets again, something like Baku. Actually, I was thinking about it. That the Hanoi street circuit was actually supposed to be make its debut last year, but it got cancelled again last year and this year. And it would be quite a nice touch to actually include it in this year, assuming if they can all go there. But yeah, it's a street circuit itself, and yeah, I think it's a good mix. Something like Baku, it's pretty interesting. Something we all never see.
Yeah, if anything, right, I just want to quickly compare Jeddah and Vietnam. For me, actually, Jeddah is actually an easier circuit to drive because I think it's just the corners that are much easier to navigate around, because the thing I don't like about Vietnam, it's just too tight.
Yeah.
Saudi the track is slightly wider, so then it's a bit more so-called freedom to make
Breathing
mistakes.
space.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna be interesting. I personally, I'm gonna say, bring back one of the older tracks like Hockenheim or Mugello from last year, because those proved some
Okay.
interesting races, and Hockenheim was always a bit of a crazy race over there. So that's definitely something. I would like to see
2019 was
Yeah.
Mercedes.
back. Yeah. Bring back Mercedes to their home
Netflix
ground.
curse. Yeah, Netflix curse.
yeah, special livery, and then you get chaos.
Maybe not the special livery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there right? Is there a
Is the Miami circuit in place already, or is it coming like way in the future?
I thought it's 25.
Yeah, I think it's
25
around
is it?
2025.
Yeah, it's 125.
Yeah.
Because from the graphic design, it looks really cool. So
It
But,
does.
yeah.
It does.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
the design of the car good, but the race not so good.
oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, Miami reminds me of another topic that happened today before recording, which is the Logan Paul Mayweather fight. We shall not discuss it at all, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
just saying,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have
Why
my
did
thoughts on
you
that.
even bring this up?
I have my
But
thoughts
I
on
don't
that.
understand. It was the highlight of the day for us, for me. It is.
For me
yeah.
also, definitely.
Yeah,
Although,
I saw it.
although let's say it's for the money only. I'm still
Yeah,
not
for sure,
getting
for
involved.
sure.
for sure.
But I think I think all the chaos happened actually was yesterday.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's where the
100%.
main
That's a
chaos
very good
was.
transition right there, Rio. Thanks for coming on
Cool.
our podcast. I was just thinking about how to bring this around. So, like Rio said, all the action happened yesterday. And we'll be talking all about it in part 2 of our conversation with Rio. Now, that will be coming out sometime later this week. So stick around and don't go anywhere. Plus, it's COVID, so you shouldn't be going out.